Okay, welcome to the next Blender tutorial. So today we're going to be making a glass apple. So let's go ahead and delete the default cube and change out the render engine to cycles. So I'm going to begin with a circle for this because we just have a lot more control over what we're doing with circles. Let's go ahead with edit mode. And I'm going to go ahead and split the atom so you guys have got the side view as well. So just press 1 if you need the side view. So let's go ahead with this and we'll press S for scale, just bring this down a little bit. Let's go F for fill, E for extrude, and you just want to be going with the Z axis. Let's go S for scale and pull this outwards. E for extrude, S for scale. And you just want to go ahead and just round this round to essentially an apple kind of shape. So we could go something like this, and then we can start bringing this back in on itself, and then we can press G and bring this down, and then from this point we can start going E for extrude, S for scale, and then just slightly bring this in. So let's go S for scale right here, so it's at equidistant. G, bring this down. S for scale again, and then E for extrude, bring this down, and then S for scale again, so we've got the middle of the apple right here. So it doesn't really look like much at the moment, but what we're going to do is go Control R, loop cut this, S for scale, bring this outwards a little bit, Control R, loop cut this, and we'll go S for scale and bring this outwards just a little bit more, and then we'll do the same here as well, just to amend this. Now you can press A and press S for scale and just bring this down a little bit, just squish it down into an apple shape. We'll also go right click subdivide, and the reason why we're going to do this is we'll go to the sculpt mode. Now because apples aren't exactly equal all the way around, we're going to go ahead and just increase the size of our brush and just start to pull little bits out in certain places just to make this apple a little less flat. We want imperfections. Okay, so once you're happy with your design, let's go to object mode, right click shade smooth. We now have this very oddly shaped apple. We're going to go ahead and go to add. Let's go to cylinder right here. We'll go S for scale, scale this down, G for bringing this up, S for scale again, bring this down. This will be our stalk base, so it will make our stalk from here. Let's go ahead and go to edit mode. Take your top face right here. Let's go E for extrude, bring this up, and we want to go ahead and curl this around. So let's go E for extrude again, R for rotate, G to bring this over, E for extrude, E for extrude again, and then you want to go with your R for rotate, G to bring this over, and then the E for extrude again. And then just at the end right here, just kind of round this off as if it's been cut at an odd angle. So this is now our little apple that we've got going on. Let's go back to object mode, right click shade smooth on that stalk, and we're going to go ahead and add in a plane underneath so we can see the glass. So you can add a little kind of leaf on this if you wanted to. So to do that, let's go with we'll go with this cylinder. Let's go G, bring this up, elongate this along the side to give it kind of a comical kind of look. Let's go S for scale, bring this down, right click shade smooth, and then all you need to do is just to amend this to the side of the stalk. You could also have a label on here if you wanted to. Shall we make this a label as well? So we'll place this just on the side. Let's go with G, bring this down. Let's go R for rotate at 90. And you can kind of have a little sticker just on the side, just here. Let's get it to sit and fit. And then we can take the exact same piece and we can go Shift D and we can go G, bring this up to the stalk, Scale it down just a little bit. As for scale, get this on the side. R for rotates. Put this a little bit higher. And then what I can do is, let's go to edit mode. And I'm going to go ahead, maybe just amend some of these faces. So if we take this face, this face, this face, this face, Shift Control, S for scale. Just kind of scale this upwards a little bit. G, maybe move this. I'm just trying to kind of mash this up just a little bit more. And then S for scale, kind of bring it in. And then you've got this nice little leaf going on. And it's kind of bent a little bit as well. It's a little crooked, which is kind of cool. Alright, so once we've got the apple right here, we're going to need some lighting to illuminate this just a little bit more. So let's go to object mode. Let's go to Shift D, move this across, and then G, move this across to the appending side. Just as such. Just going to move this a little bit closer actually. There we go. Alright, so let's take the stock to begin with, and we will go to Materials tab, New, and we'll change this to kind of a dark brown. So we want something like this, but we want this in the glass BSDF. So click the principal BSDF and change it to glass BSDF. We'll make this kind of like a brown, kind of red. Take down the roughness. So now we have this glass stock. We will take this little leaf that we have right here. And if you want them to be the same kind of materials, same kind of thing, let's go with the brown. To make that brown, and then we'll duplicate this, and then all we'll do is just change the colour that we need. We'll do the exact same thing with the apple right here. So you can have a red apple, you can have a green apple, orange, whatever kind of apple you want. You can click the green right here. It will be the exact same material as the green right here. Usually if you're in a glass factory or something like that, they will generally have the same colours made up, so this will generally be the same tone as this unless they amend it. So let's see, we have the green right here. Now we can change this, we can duplicate this out, and we can change the colour right here to a red if you wanted that. And also we've got the label right here. The labels are generally a dark green, so I mean you could use the same green if you wanted to. As such. So now we have this nice little red apple. If you want to change the IOR, you can go ahead and do so. So we can take the red right here. We can change the IOR to make it a little bit more translucent, transparent. If it'll work, come on. I think we went too far. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've got the glass there now. I'm going to go ahead actually and delete one of these lights because I think it's a bit too distracting. But you can see the way that the glass is working right there. So let's go ahead and take this light right here. I'll make this a little bit brighter. There we are. And you can now see that this is coming through on the opposite side as well. To be honest with you, I would probably put this into some sort of scene, because I think just standalone apple kind of just looks a bit odd. I think this would be great for, say, like a fruit bowl or something like that, you know, just like one of those fake ones. Let's amend the IOR on this one to pull that up a little bit more. So yeah, I would experiment with this, see what's going on. And that is generally how you make a glass apple. Now, what I would say with the lighting is to kind of make this shine a bit more. Let's go ahead, take a plane, S for scale, scale it out. And what you want to do is go to new material, change out principal BSDF for emission. And we'll go ahead and we'll make this an emission. So now we have this nice little light coming across the top, and you can see that you can see a lot more detail with this. let's take this, Shift D, duplicate a few of them across, and then take them all with box select, and let's go G, bring this up just to a nice height, and then we could, you know, I'm going to put the camera here. Actually, let's put the camera right about here. View, align camera to view. G, bring this up, and then we'll bring this back a little bit more. So now we have the camera view right here. We can see that we've got the lighting over the top. Let's select these 4. Let's go Shift D, and we'll just duplicate these across again. So now we can see that we have the contours and everything, and you can see that the way that the light's hitting everything. I could go ahead and duplicate these again if I'd like, and I could go Shift D, and I can move them across to the opposing side as such. So now we can see the curves, we can see that this is now glass and stuff, and if you really wanted to go a little bit further, you could change the tones on the background. Let's see what we can do with this. So let's go with new, and we'll go with Veroni. Veroni texture, color to base color as such, and just scale that up. Let's go back to the layout, and now we have this nice little texture and some lighting, and I think it is a little bit OTT on the lighting, but it helps to show that glass a little bit more than usual. So yeah, if you guys like this tutorial, please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.